Greetings, beings. Jacob Martinez, Crystal Haiku Guy from artoflove.me. How you doing? I'm back with your June readings. So first and foremost, this channel is M for mature audiences only. If you're somebody that is not a mature audience, please do exit the video. Also, please exit it if you're somebody that gets offended with a man using potentially crude language. It just comes up as a mode of expression for me, and when I do the readings, I sometimes trance out, and that's just the way I communicate, is not to offend anybody. But it might be confrontational, and if you don't like that, I might not be your guy. So, M for mature audiences only. Please do take a look at your sun, moon, and rising to get the most complete picture, because things have the tendency of just wobbling depending on how we are composed. You know, time and space and gender and energies can be somewhat flexible. So I don't pay specific attention to gender in general readings like this because it's just too hard to nail down for people and can be very nebulous. I will speak to the energies that I feel have presented themselves to me, and they may have a more feminine or masculine polarity. I might say he, she, or they. I'm sorry if I don't get it right for you. Please just apply what suits you. Also, even though I'm going to try to break this down into archetype, physical, mental, romantic, things might crisscross into other aspects of your life. So just apply your own good intelligence and perhaps just file it in the brain, because this is a monthly reading to help forewarn you of what the weather forecast might be like over the course of June. But we'll also come back in the middle of June with a mid-monthly reading just to pick up where we left off and see how things might be changing. So there's that. I'm only doing these free general readings right now. If you have the means, I would highly recommend a personal reading. There's tons of great readers here on YouTube. And if you just wanted a recommendation, feel free to hit me up. My email is below. You can also use that email to hit me up if you have a prayer request, because I'm a guy who will pray for you. All right, so with that said, here's how the readings will go. First of all, there will be 4 videos, one for each of the elements of the zodiac. Within each video, there will be 3 timestamps, one for each of the signs that are associated with that element. So you can click ahead or back or however you like. But again, check your sun, moon, and rising. And I did readings with Caroline Mrs. Archetype cards to go over the archetypal energy, which is sort of like the baseline of the month. For the physical side of your life, things that happen in the material realm, Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. For the mental sector, John Holland's Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. And for the romantic, sometimes not romantic, but romantic sector, you've got Doreen Virtue's Romance Angels Oracle deck. And I like to wrap them up with a prayer led by Archangel Michael. He always has really good advice, and I think it's a good way to end it up. So that's what we have going on, and with that said, we'll go ahead and get started with your reading. Oh, please like, share, and subscribe. Hey everybody, Jakob Martinez here, artoflove.me, Crystal Haiku Guy. These are going to be the water signs. We're actually going to be going Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. I have already shuffled, like sage and stuff, but I'm going to do a little more shuffling here. I may be like really Mercury retrograde prone. I know that we've been back direct with Mercury since Sunday. It's Monday now, the 23rd. I've still been having some issues. I actually just recorded all 3 of the water signs, and like the audio just wasn't there, so hopefully it's there this time. And if you don't want to watch me shuffle, I don't blame you. There's timestamps below. Feel free to just click in. No mas. When I do all the backs are up, I don't flip them until I actually hit the sign. So. So far, I've dealt the archetype cards and the physical material realm cards. I'm shuffling John Allen's like Oracle deck now. Which will be used for the mental sector. I'm gonna lay down 2 more cards. Just gonna shuffle these other 2 decks right now. This is the Romance Angel Oracle cards, Enduring Virtue. I like them a lot. I use them for a personal romantic life, but they're not always personal or romantic too much. Well, personal, but not always romantic. How's that? Whoa! Bunch just flew out. Okay. I'm not gonna read those. There was like 5 or 6, so. If it was like maybe 3 or less, I probably would have. There was like a lot there. It was like a whole story, but sorry. Okay, two more. Might be a little OCD, but I kind of have to feel really good about my shuffle. Right. Last deck. Go ahead and start with you here, Scorpio. Shaken. Happy June to you. Flipping your cards over. Alright. Wow, Scorpio. Scorpio. Overall energy for the month. This is going to be kind of like your baseline for the month, your archetype. You got the energy of dilettante and light attributes straight off the card say delight in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. And shadow side says pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. So that's kind of the energy that's going to be working through you and around you this month that you want to pay attention to. I'm going to read to you what the book says because these are kind of helpful. Dilettante. The key word for the month is amateur. And we've got 5 bullet points here. First one says, a lover of the fine arts who never rises above the level of an amateur. The second bullet point is, by extension, a jack of all trades. I will say a Jill or other of all trades as well. A master of none. Third bullet point says, amateur applies to the realm of sports or useful arts such as cooking and gardening. The fourth bullet, both can alert you to the danger of becoming merely superficial in your pursuits or losing the love that drew you to your avocation in the first place. And the last one is about the shadow dilettante. And that one says, the shadow dilettante manifests as a pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess and taking your dabbling too seriously. So that's kind of a warning there. And it gives us a little advice here to look for the pattern of delighting in the arts or other areas of endeavor without going very deep. Interesting. You have to be paying attention to that. Where is it in your life that you might be borderlining, being delighted in things on sort of a in sort of a light-hearted way, versus just being kind of, I don't know, fickle about the things in your life. I think that being lighthearted can also sometimes border into superficiality, is kind of what I'm hearing here. So, pay attention to where you might be diluting your efforts a bit here over the next month, Scorpio. This person in the card could be he, she, they, whoever. It might be you. Look, that individual's got a lot going on right now. Yeah, I'll just say she, but, you can read it however it makes sense to you. She, in my opinion, is doing quite a bit much. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arms that I can see. She looks like an octopus to me, and she might be holding it together, but it's almost like she's kind of like haphazardly doing shit, because she's like stirring up a freaking pot over there. She's making something. She's like painting over here, and then she's like reading a book, but she's like not even looking at it. She's looking at this plant or something else, or I don't know what the hell's going on here, but it's like too much going on almost. And so, cool your jets if you need to. Don't be just popping off every which way just because shit's going on. I know it's like awesome probably weather where you are, maybe if you're as lucky as me to be in Denver, Colorado, but it doesn't mean you got to be going all kind of which ways. Pay attention to where you're putting your energies. And I'm like picking up some relationship stuff here too, about making decisions about where you invest yourself in relationships, and just make sure if you want to be in fickle relationships or surface level relationships, that's up to you. But I'd actually, I'll read into this some more. I want to hold up the cards for you, but pay attention to where you're investing yourself. I don't know about you, but I'm not into just fickle relationships with people where they're just like lacking in truth and intimacy. For me, that's some fucking bullshit. I don't even have people like that in my life anymore. But pay attention to that. Are you being like a dilettante, flaky friend? It's possible. Are people being flaky with you? Also, don't just buy into something just because somebody says they know it. Maybe they're full of shit. You might be full of shit too. Are you full of shit, Scorpio? I don't know. If you're full of shit, call yourself on it. Don't be playing like you know some shit that you don't know, and get yourself, writing checks that your ass can't cash, right? So, pay attention. Physical material realm. We got some fiery individual in your vicinity, potentially. Maybe that's you. This is a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and this is a people. In my opinion, this there's a cat on a horse there. And I'm just gonna call that cat a he. Could be they, she, whatever pronoun makes sense. That might be you. Just because it's fire element here, doesn't mean you have to have fire in your chart. But if you did, or who this could be or embody, is typically your fire element type individual who might fall under the category of Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, possibly. But look at fire element and see what that means to you. That could be a person embodying those traits that's zipping in and out, possibly coming in real fast is what I'm getting. That person might be a snappy dresser with good hair and possibly passionate about you or something about you, or that might be you feeling passionate and going towards something that you really want. I get a lot of sexual connotation vibes with this guy a lot of times. Just, he can be passionate individual. And those passions can sometimes drive them to be a little reckless, even at times. And so I feel like, you know, especially with this dilettante energy up in the air, you know, just don't go racing off on ideas that might not be really founded and, you know, rooted in reality and truth, you know, or due diligence, you know. Just pay attention to what you're doing. If this is you and you're feeling driven and you're going which ways. Because even in your mind, yeah, this is interesting. The first time when I did this reading for you guys, Scorpio, you actually had gotten 2 other 7s in the other reading, which is really interesting. And I think you had 7 last month, too. We were doing some crown chakra work. But this is a divine timing kind of thing going on in your life right now, and I think you know that in your mind. And you are feeling emotional as you're considering these things. This is typically, this is John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. This is 7, choose wisely here. In this other deck, Rider Waite, it's typically shown as the 7 of Cups. And this is somebody that's like standing there looking at all their options. And it's like usually something of a pretty emotional nature. That's why this is green and I'm applying on our heart chakra right now. And Scorpio, they're really saying, you know, you got to go within here and look above. So I'm being guided to, you know, they're even pointing up here. You know, so the guy's sitting there, or she, they, whoever, and they're considering the directions where maybe those hands are pointing, and they're being advised to look up. So I'm feeling like an attention to an angelic presence. I don't know, maybe you have some angel spirit guides or high evolved soul type individuals that are working with you right now. Maybe you're talking to a psychic. Maybe this could even be because you're watching this video with me. But you are being advised to, when you're going within your mind, you know, focus on where that high resonance information is coming from, the one that is bringing like a stillness and calm feeling to your heart. That's what I'm hearing. Because it's almost like you could be just going in too many different directions, you know, maybe that's what this dilettante's all about. Notice all these different directions this can go, and you can really water yourself down and, you know, find yourself in a situation that feels sort of emotionally turbulent, but you're carrying it into your mental mind. And so, yeah, the guidance here is just, you know, choose wisely, yes. And listen to that high minded, that high resonance frequency, the one that's coming from the high mind, that's giving you like a still serenity in your heart. That's the one to choose. And temper that, because you might be wanting to race off somewhere and maybe that's not in the best interest. You know, make sure you've thought it out first. And that you're not like jumping to conclusions just because you think you know something about something. I don't feel like you have all the information. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. And, you know, some of this might just be calling you to take a time out, Scorpio. You know, and these romance angels oracle cards, sometimes, you know, they can be very romantic, yes, and it could have an implication. Maybe you're in a relationship, and this might have a direct correlation, but it's possible you're single too, and in that case, I think these can still have an implicit meaning on our lives, and they don't always fall into, you know, one bucket or another. Some of this stuff sort of mixes into other areas. I'm trying to put them in buckets for you, but you pulled the separation card, and it's reminding me, I think mid-month last month you got something about, I think it was releasing the ex, was it? I believe it might have been something about your ex, but anyway, separation here, and It's actually reminding me of this choose wisely here, where you see this person off by themselves, contemplating the potential ways that their life might go, or whatever actions they're wanting to launch out and take action on or upon. And this card actually says time apart from your partners on the horizon. So, maybe you're taking a hiatus from a relationship. Maybe there's somebody you really love and you're like apart from them for some reason, or maybe you're separating from somebody that you just don't want to be with anymore because it was the wise decision and you are like, get me the fuck out of this bullshit. That could be the case too. Whatever it is here, you are being guided to take a time out, even if it's not a breakup, to make the considerations. And Archangel Michael saying, go forward fearlessly. So whatever it is, just pick a good direction. I think you're ready to go. You might already know what you want to do. Just make sure you're not being too hasty. That's a hasty energy. I love the Knight of Wands. I got a lot of him in me, actually. I'm a Leo moon person, and so I've probably been that guy before. But he can also be a knucklehead. He can be a knucklehead, especially if he thinks he knows everything just because he's got some hobbies and some skills. And sometimes might just take off in one direction, and then later kind of come to regret, the consequences of his actions. And maybe that's what is making him want to get out of a situation right now, or her, or them. Maybe you jumped into something because you had a lot going on and you weren't making some good decisions, and now you're like, this might be like a remorse thing, and you're like, what do I do now? Gotta get out. Want to make a move, and separation. But whatever it is, Archangel Michael says, go forward fearlessly, and we're going to pray for you, Scorpio. So, here we go. All right. I thank you for walking with me every step of the way, for holding my hand and giving me confidence and courage, and guiding my thoughts and actions in the direction of love and my true life's purpose. Amen. Thank you. Scorpio, that's what I got for you for the month of June. I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned because I will be back pretty soon with the mid-monthlies for June. If you have a prayer request, hit me up. Email address is below, and I would love to do that for you. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on right now to Pisces. What's shaking, Pisces? How you doing? Happy June. Going to flip your cards. All right. Well, Pisces, getting some really mixed messages here. I just wonder if you guys might be a little confused about the situation. Interesting. Okay, you can go ahead and just jump into the archetypal energy for the month. This is the baseline to the rhythm of the month. And Caroline, this is archetype cards. Here, you have pulled the Saboteur for the month of June. On the light side, it says, highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. And on the shadow side, it says, induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Okay, so that is the card of self-sabotage. That's what a saboteur is. I'm just going to read to you what the book actually says, because I find these pretty helpful. Excuse me. Saboteur exposes fears and issues related to low self-esteem that cause you to make choices that block your own empowerment and success. When you make it an ally, You will find that it calls your attention to situations in which you're in danger of being sabotaged or of sabotaging yourself. And the shadow saboteur manifests as self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Everyone has this archetype, so don't feel bad for getting it. It even says right here, like, everyone has this archetype. There are, actually, if you're interested, this is a great book and deck of cards to work with. There are several archetypes that we all embody, that we all have. And this is one of them, you know. It's kind of, you know, it can be, it isn't always, but it can be that little niggling inside of you that tells you that you're not good enough, and you're not smart enough, or you're not sexy enough, or you'll never make it, or whatever. And the thing that, like, really is not even really real, maybe, that just keeps you from even trying, you know, and you could be good at something. And so pay attention to it. I think that's how it plays out for a lot of people. I think that, you know, we all probably need more love and not less, and it's really possible that, you know, you might have fallen short of somebody's expectations at some point in your life and just carried this, like, feeling of inadequacy that might be sticking its fucking, like, ugly face in front of you all month. And, you know, it's a good opportunity here to highlight your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it will bring to your life. So, you know, when you feel it, maybe just pay attention and question, is this even relevant now? You know, see it from new eyes this month, Pisces. That's the undercurrent, if you will. For the physical material sector, with the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, we pulled the Chariot card, number 7, which is a really great card in my opinion. That's a major arcana. This is a major force of energy in your life right now, and it's feeling divided to me somehow. And I am just feeling like there's possibly a crossroads situation that's been on your mind that you are trying to navigate. But, you know, this guy is trying to hold it together. And this could also be a person, too, in your life. I will just say a lot of times, you know, I've seen this character here represented as a Cancerian person, a Cancer person. So somebody with Cancer elements or that type of qualities. And the thing about this, you know, and this is a 7-2. A lot of people have been getting 7s. A lot of times this is kind of like, you know, a divine timing kind of energy. And I'm just really, you know, I might be a little influenced because I'd done the reading before and the sound didn't pick up at all in the entire reading for all of the water signs. You had gotten the world here before, and I'm kind of picking up on the same thing here. Someone's chest is covered here, and the chest was exposed in the other one, and I was seeing these spears, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it again. I was picking up on some medical intuitive stuff to do with somebody, a surgery that had something to do with, I want to say reproductive. It was, I was picking up a lot of like breast and like maybe cervical ovarian. It could be male too. It doesn't have to be female. There's an emphasis on this right now, and Cancer just came up again. So I'm not trying to be too specific with anybody, but it's possible that somebody might be awaiting some information on a surgery or an exploratory kind of look at something with the gonadal system, and getting the throat thing again throat chakra. I was having the same problem when I got right here with the reading before Pisces about speaking difficult truths and like blocked right here in the throat and like somebody's thyroid. Look, if you're having some medical stuff right now, I'm going to say the same thing that I said in the other reading. It was like there was a lot of information coming from like different areas, and it was almost like not knowing which way to look, right? And so I'm still kind of getting that. And this one feels very sort of divided for me too. And so I just want to say that, you know, whatever you might be hearing, especially if it's related to either your physical health or maybe somebody else in your life, it might be polarizing information, you know, like, you know, you can just look through the polarities of the white and the black sphinxes that want to go different directions. This could be like your mind, like playing tricks on you too, or just hearing conflicting information and trying to like, hold it together. And especially if there's like a medical implication. Listen, my heart goes out to you. I am actually somebody that is a cancer survivor myself. So, you know, I've been through like the polarizing shit, and I know what that's like. And if you're dealing with that right now, I'm praying for you. I'm actually going to do some special prayer with that when we do the calibration here in the Archangel Michael prayer. But Pisces, you're guarded and protected. And I'm just going to jump ahead to, I mean, I usually say this for last, but, you know, if you're having some concerns with medical shit, thyroid stuff, cancer, or like somebody in your life maybe having like a situation with a surgery, okay, or an idea that might be happening, Archangel Michael wants you to know right now you are guarded and protected. We are going to pray on this stuff. I'm already doing a calibration on that for you. But listen to the other side of it, and there's some advice here to seek out the actual equivalent of what would be a second opinion. And I find a lot of times people don't understand that. They just go see another doctor that practices the same thing. That's okay. That's okay. But like for instance, for me, I had cancer, and it was important to me to be integrative, and I recovered really well in a miraculous kind of way. I believe in no small part due to the fact that I listened to the Western medical side as well as the naturopathic side, and I worked them together, and I had very good results. And I'm kind of just hearing, make sure, you know, if you need to go for a second opinion, make sure it's a real second opinion. Check out the other philosophies with that too and see what kind of composite you can get, and you know, let the things work together, okay? Because you want both sides of you operating in the same direction. This guy's not going to get anywhere if he's popping off in two different directions. That would be self-sabotage, okay? And I bring it up because in the mental sector, John Holland's Psychic Oracle deck, you got obstacles and challenges, card number 5. This would be the 5 of Wands if we were looking in the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. And this is somebody that's like, just got some stuff going on, you know, and this is like busy mind too, and this can be unsettling energy, you know, this could be like competitive stuff going on in your life around you that's like maybe consuming you, possibly pissing you off. Like sometimes like when I get this kind of energy, this can be like a pissed off energy, especially if there's like this like element of sabotage in the air. I mean, and this guy, you know, he can take action, you know, but he can be kind of like warring too. I mean, this is a gladiator, right? He's nobody's fool. And obstacles and challenges, look, it's like planning how to take careful steps, because one misstep there and that guy's like, I don't know what he's falling into. but it might be some bullshit. I can't tell what's down there. It looks like it's a long way down from wherever he is. There's a broken bridge. There might be a broken bridge. Be careful as you're planning these steps. And I tell you this because in the personal romantic sector, and this might be totally unrelated, maybe this is wonderful, but in the context of what I'm seeing here, the honeymoon card kind of, to me, is like, what the fuck are you thinking? A little bit. It's like airy-fairy thinking, like in the middle of some crazy stuff, and like almost like escapist. I don't know. It could be. I told you there's some mixed messages here, but honeymoon and saboteur together here for me, I don't know, man. Let's kind of like enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. It says maybe you need a break. Maybe there's some bullshit going on, and you and your partner need to get the fuck out of Dodge and take a time out and go enjoy someone's time. Maybe you're single, though, and that's what you want, but you've got a lot of stuff going on, and you're just like ready to check out on it emotionally because you need a time out. But it could also just be that you're like in a state of denial too. Like this could be like, I've seen this be denial sometimes. You know, it's like you're going off in like this airy-fairy honeymoon sort of mentality, but you know, maybe it's not really founded on anything legitimate because the situation isn't conducive, you know, and so it might just be like convoluted thinking, I guess. So I would just be careful with that. Just be careful with that, you know. And I'm only saying it because of this energy here, the saboteur. So, you know, make sure that if you are like embracing this kind of like not generally based in reality kind of emotional embarkment. The honeymoon might imply, you know, how often do you get a honeymoon? Maybe once in your life, right? I don't know how many times people get married, but, you know, that's supposed to be a really good time, and, you know, just don't let yourself buy into, because of the need to disconnect from some crazy shit going on, you know, anything that's going to possibly be self-destructive because maybe it's just not grounded, you know. Yeah, I don't know why I was picking that up, but it's pretty specific for me, for maybe just like a handful of people. But overall, you know, especially, you know, 7s and 5s, a lot of times, these two numbers here, these can be kind of conflicting sort of feelings, conflict sort of energy, things feeling tumultuous and changing, and, you know, maybe you just need a time out. And that could also be what honeymoon is, whether or not it's with somebody that's special in your life. So you can enjoy the bliss of holiday time by yourself too, Pisces, and that's absolutely okay, and that might be a loving thing to do, because with the saboteur energy here that was coming up for the course of the month too, there's really a strong call to action to heal things within the heart. You know, this is like how you look at yourself and how you experience yourself in the world, and especially if there's anything going on with your body, or, you know, a medical thing with yourself or someone you love. You know, a lot of heart chakra work would be really good right now, maybe that time out. And I was still feeling something here restricted in my throat. And if that's the case, you know, focusing on that chakra as well is going to be really good, because it's going to bring you into a loving space within yourself, and also that dialogue you have with yourself as you are facing obstacles and challenges, and just kind of keeping it together. But one way or the other, Archangel Michael says you're guarded and protected. So we're going to go ahead and finish on that note. I'm going to pray for you. Let's go for that, Pisces. This is for you. I thank you for protecting my loved ones and me, ensuring that we're safe and that all of our needs are met. I now accept your help gratefully and gracefully, knowing that it's right for me and all others to accept heavenly assistance. Amen. All right, Pisces, that's what I got for you for the month of June. Hope you liked it. If you did, like, share, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And if you need a prayer request, feel free to hit me up. My email is just listed below. And if not, I will just see you again in a couple weeks for the June mid-monthlies. Take care. Hey, what's going on, Cancer? Back for your June. And just flipping over your cards. See what you got going on for this month. All right. Cancer, this is, I feel like, a lot of the carryover from last month's theme. We're getting a very similar flow here in some ways. All right, we'll go ahead and start with your archetypal energy for the month using Carolyn Mrs. archetype cards. You've got the Child Wounded card, and this is sort of the undercurrent of the month. It's, what we're going to be experiencing in and within ourselves and possibly all around us in the world. So it's kind of like the weather forecast. Light attributes on this card state: awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children and opens the learning path of forgiveness. And on the shadow side, blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and also just read that from the book because there's some good breakdowns here. Okay, Child Wounded holds memories of abuse, neglect, and other traumas endured during childhood. May also awaken a deep sense of compassion and desire to find a way to help other wounded children. It often opens the learning path of forgiveness, and the shadow wounded child may manifest as self-pity, blame, and resistance to moving on through forgiveness. Look for a habit of blaming a painful childhood for all subsequent dysfunctional relationships. Pretty interesting advice for the month here, Cancer. So, you might be going through something deep this month, a reevaluation of who you are based on, maybe how you were raised and situations that cause you to defend and protect yourself, so that you could cope with, whatever the wounding was that maybe created that hard shell, that we Cancers have. I have it. I totally get it. I'm Cancer rising guy. And so, I understand that. And, I know what it's like to kind of retreat within that shell, that we have sometimes. That's what a wounded child would do, right? So, this month we're being reminded, to forgive ourselves and others for those things that cause the pain, or the pain that we might inflict on ourselves and others, and also seeing where we might be limiting our own understanding of life based on a belief that, we must stay stuck in that wounded state of however we've learned to respond. So there's a key to forgiveness here, and I'm seeing a lot of sacral and solar plexus chakra healing here. So that would be your second and third chakras there, maybe to work on a bit for that this month. You can look that up online. And if you need help with that calibration or anything, that's actually something I do. Feel free to hit me up. My email's down there. In the physical material, Cancer, the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, we pulled the Four of Pentacles. It's a very protective energy coming up in the physical world here. This guy's like clutching his pentacle. He's like, that's my pentacle, bitches. I ain't letting it go. He's worked for something. He's guarding it. She's guarding it. They're guarding it. Whoever that person is, you apply it how it makes sense for you. Maybe that's you. Is that you? Is that somebody you know? Could be somebody you know. Could be, and if it's a person in your life that's not you, You might be somebody that's got some strong characteristics of the earth element. Pentacles are a tell for that. That's going to be your Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn variety person. There's somebody that has those kind of traits. Not necessarily have to be their sun, moon, rising, but sometimes that's the case. Or it could be you embodying those types of characteristics this month for yourself. But what I like about it is that this person is doing pretty well. They've put themselves in a good position because of how grounded they've been about things, and how they have protected and guarded, and they've amassed, quite a bit to rely upon in their life. This guy's got his own little kingdom there behind him. I think he probably lives in one of those fancy buildings back there, right? He's got a crown on his head. Looks like he paid for it himself. But it's there. And he's guarding his heart. Or she's guarding her heart. They're guarding their heart. Maybe because they're wounded. Or remembering how they needed to protect before because of how life was interfering with them. They might not need to keep guarding like that, though. So pay attention to what you're guarding this month and how people are guarding with you, Cancer. In your mental sector, using the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, you pull the Sacrifice card. 12. That's a major arcana. If we were looking at Rider-Waite-Smith deck, that's going to be your Hanged Man. Totally different take on it here in this deck. I really love this deck. So here we've got an individual. I'll just say she here, but it can be they, he, whoever. That might be you. It might be somebody you know. It's on your mind. It's kind of got their arms tied up here. And it's kind of a high-minded card a lot of times. Usually the guy's hanging from a tree by a leg with his arms tied back, or just holding him back there, maybe not tied. See, she's not tied here either. But what they're doing and what they have in common is their minds are kind of illuminated somehow. She's got all this rainbow stuff happening here. She might be spiritually upgrading herself in her mind because of how she's embracing her spiritual practice. But I feel it's a sacrifice right there too on the card. It's definitely a little bit of a different energy from the standard Rider-Waite-Smith deck with regard to that. Sometimes it can be a sacrifice card there too, but this one actually says sacrifice, and so maybe on your mind it's this negotiation process of what it is you've got to release, give up, let go. And I don't expect it to be easy. That person's got the look of, you're going to have to pry the shit from my fucking dead hands. It's like, you're not getting it. But here, this person has nothing in her hands. Just whatever was tied to her before is now being released. One good blow of wind and those ties are just going to be taken from her. And that's a lot to consider. That's a lot to have on one's mind. Sacrifice. Especially if you don't want to give anything up. But pay attention to where you're feeling wounded when you're thinking about what sacrifice means or whatever that symbolizes to you. In your personal, emotional realm, you got children. I think you got this last month too there, Cancer. Your love life is being affected by children. So, very simple here, and I say it a lot of times when I get this card. You don't necessarily have to have children in your life that are, interfering in some kind of way, although that could very much be the case. Maybe you're leaving a relationship or something, sacrifice, and it's fucking up your foundations and your security, and there's kids involved, and, you don't want to let anything go, there's more individuals holding things tightly. And, this could be really major in that sense. It can also just be very major from, say, an existential crisis sort of place, too, where you are the child that was wounded. So it's just a really strong pull for you, gals, guys, and others this month to work with your own healthy sense of ego. May that be the only thing that you're holding on to tightly and guarding and protecting. It's your healthy sense of ego. Because your inner child maybe didn't get what it needed at some point in time. And, sometimes it's really easy to just blame everything on that. And it might be valid to some point. But now that you've become aware of the situation and maybe you're feeling called upon to leave something behind because it is on your mind, and this is a major influence of energy, that doesn't change. That changes you. You have the option to decide how you want to treat that child that's shown up in your life, even if it's just you. What did that child need? Maybe you're the only one who can give it to yourself now. And if that's the case, allow your life to be affected by that child in a constructive way, where your compassion has been perhaps awakened to your own needs and your own desires to serve yourself, not just others, because you know what? You can't give from an empty well, Cancer. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and jump into your prayer from Archangel Michael, who says, positive thoughts create positive results. Stay on the bright side of this, Cancer. And we're going to say prayer here for you. Divine love and wisdom, I call upon you now. I know that my mind and emotions are eternally and continuously connected to you. I ask my higher self to be aware and conscious of the love and light that is within every person and situation. Amen. All right, that's what I got for you, Cancer. I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. And if you need a prayer request, want anybody to pray for you, hit me up. I have listed my email address below in the description box. And I would love to say a prayer for you if you would like that. And if I don't hear from you, just stay tuned. I'll be back probably in a couple weeks here for the June mid-monthlies. God bless you. God protect you. Talk to you soon.